You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries. As we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media, this is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest, Craig Redler, Jeffrey Verdon Law Group. Welcome.
Hi, Ron. Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Glad to have you with us. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we are celebrating today. I think today we might have to just celebrate recovery. And I don't know about you, but it was the long weekend, a wonderful weekend. Spent a lot of time seeing a lot of folks out there in Anaheim Hills at their events for the 4th of July. Yes, celebrated. Independence Day events are on the 4th of July. It's kind of like, I had so many people say, are you doing it on the 4th this year or the 5th? I said, why would you celebrate the 5th of July, the 4th of July on the 5th of July? I don't get that. That's kind of like saying, well, why don't you celebrate Christmas on the 26th of December because it's not convenient on the 25th? I just throw that out there. About 30,000 people came out to visit the activities in Anaheim Hills, 5K, 10K, walk, run, or for those of you, see, I volunteer. People say that I volunteer just because I want something to do. No, the real truth of it is they give me a golf cart. So I can do that 5K twice usually with people and then do a little bit of volunteer hours. But we do start about 4:30 in the morning and about 10 o'clock at night following a wonderful fireworks show that had a lot of people out there at Peralta Park. And hey, if you're in the area, Concerts in the Park starts Thursday, every Thursday in the month of July. So it's going to be more fun out there to visit with you. But let's take a look at today's celebration. Let's see, Hand Roll Day. Okay, I guess we can go with a hand roll day. Should we take a look and see exactly what they mean by a hand roll day? Yeah, it looks like sushi to me. And I do have a love for sushi, good stuff there. But if you're not into the sushi end of things, today is also National Fried Chicken Day. So we like fried chicken. Where are you getting the best fried chicken? I put that on all our socials this morning. Where do you get the best fried chicken? I would say, I used to say a couple of places. I think now we went down and had fried chicken and waffles down at Shorebird, right there on the Balboa Peninsula. They do a real nice job of that. But hey, having beaten anorexia, I am an expert in some of these things. Let's take a look at what the markets are doing. Dow Jones Industrial Average down 363 points. Ow! Yeah, S&P is down 31. NASDAQ down 64. Oil down $1.72 a barrel. Now, $1.72 a barrel. Let's see. Want to become famous? Okay, yeah, we get some jokesters coming up with comments on here, so we just have to dump those out there. I usually try and post the comments. Hey, by the way, if you're watching us on any of our socials right now, you can go and put comments in right there. Make sure you tell us who you are so we can give you a shout out. Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitch, whatever. I know it's one of those things. I think it's Twitch. I'm showing my age. I know it's on there. Josh is laughing at me, but I'm used to that anyway. But hey, let's keep on moving right along and see, why is it that oil prices, gas prices are doing what they're doing? Do we really want to know? Do we want to see what's happening in the world? Well, they're trying to set a date. Now, because of the Trump administration, OPEC wasn't a real big deal. Now that the Biden administration is here and they've decided that Russian gas is more important than U.S. gas, we can tell that because of what they've done with pipelines. Their actions speak. They don't have to tell us what they're doing. But now we're looking for an OPEC meeting so we can see, are we going to get fuel again? Unbelievable. But as you know, I do tell it.
It is what it is.
So let's see what these policies. Yeah, I know Facebook tells us that the president does not set gas prices. We know that. He sets gas price policy, and I do see now that the Keystone XL pipeline suing the administration, that means you and me, $15 billion, right? And I can understand that. If I was a business person and you have one administration say, yes, you can build it, you go and you start building it, spend all kinds of money, and for no apparent reason, another administration comes in and says, no, you can't do that. Well, what are you supposed to do? You're going to be out all that money, but let's see what it's doing to gas prices. Well, today we're looking at national average gallon of gasoline, $3.13. 1 year ago, $2.18 a gallon. In the wonderful state of Calizuela, well, we're currently at $4.31 a gallon. Last year, this time, we were at $3.10 a gallon. Now, if you want to get gas at a reasonable price, I wouldn't say it's a good price. Reasonable price, you look at a Mississippi, $2.75 a gallon of gasoline. They're much better than we are here. Missouri, just for those of you wanting to know, $2.81. So
I understand they're raising their gas tax. They're talking about that right now. But historically, Missouri has been an easy place to fuel up.
yeah, $2.81 compared to $4.30. I guess that's the difference between Calizuela and America. I just throw that out there. Let's see what else is going on in the world today. We've got a lot of stuff going on. Did you see Georgetown University? They're interviewing the kids at Georgetown University. And I do refer to them, most of the time I refer to young people. But when I hear interviews like this, I do refer to kids. But it's unfortunate because some of them are saying they're not proud to be in America. I wonder what would happen if they went to Cuba and said they don't like their country. I wonder what would happen if they go to China and say they don't like their country. Do you have any idea what they might hear in those countries? Do you think they would get away with making those comments? I just throw that out there. Maybe they could find a better place. I wouldn't want them to stay here feeling like they're being oppressed, right? I mean, that wouldn't be nice. Let them go somewhere where they're not being oppressed. And looking further in the news, Cori Bush. Yeah, the stolen land is what she's calling America. Ted Cruz, thank goodness that he decided to get involved in that one and make comments to her. And now this is a United States representative making comments like this. I wonder where else she could go and make comments like that. Again, without getting herself put in jail, maybe? I don't know. New York Times. You can go to the other tabloids. New York Times used to be a good newspaper, but that tabloid now saying lawmakers, they're hit by critics suggesting the U.S. flag is now alienating some. Well, if it's alienating people, maybe we should look along the United States border. Maybe we could just put the flag up and those people wouldn't come here anymore. Unbelievable. And the Vice President of the United States wants to know what the root cause of this illegal immigration is. And she wants to solve that problem. And no one's telling you this. You only hear this on Ron Siegel Radio. The root cause is that people want to come to America, Ms. Vice President. It's a great place to be. We have our problems just like many other places. But the root cause, you're never going to solve it. You don't want, well, I guess you are trying to solve it. It's a great place and people want to get here no matter how they can get here. The problem is that the Biden-Harris administration, they're too friendly with the cartels. Maybe they should get more friendly with law enforcement. I listened to one of the top historical authors of our time and just wrote a book, and I think it's called something about the mob and killing the mob. That's the name of it. I enjoyed the book. but they ask him on the book tour who the number one or most favored president is of the mob. Yeah, 5 months, Joe Biden's got the winning number. He's already got the title. Why? Well, they're making billions of dollars, millions of dollars a day, importing drugs and other illegal items and importing people. Think about that. And the Biden administration, what are they doing? Yeah, I think I've got the effect. Yeah, that's the Biden administration on immigration. Just throw that out there. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, we've got a great broadcast lined up for you today. Protecting your assets, real estate, and more. A look at home price appreciation. And oh yes, we've got our favorite home, brought to you by myfavoritelender.net. All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Building your future wealth starts now. Take action and put your money to work for you instead of working for your money. Are you sitting on $100,000 of home equity? Realty Pro 100 has your solution. Realty Pro 100 Wealth Builder program may increase your net worth by $50,000 to $75,000 or more per year. Learn more about the Realty Pro 100 Wealth Builder program by texting My Wealth Builder to 79564. Text My Wealth Builder to 79564. License DRE 020590058.
Blue Water Credit Repair is the industry leader in fixing bad credit. Did you know a 40-point increase in your credit score can save you $40,000 on a home loan and $4,000 on a car loan? You deserve good credit and peace of mind. Take the first step today and go to bluewatercredit.com and register for a free consultation from one of their credit repair experts. That's bluewatercredit.com.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
Homeowners over the age of 62 are taking back financial control after retirement with reverse mortgages, and the Siegel Lending Team is here to help you use it to your advantage. Call Ron Siegel with Geneva Financial to receive your free information booklet with no obligation. The booklet answers all your questions, and the best part is you still own your home. Call Ron Siegel at 1-800-306-1990 or visit ronsiegelradio.com. Are you a military veteran, first responder, doctor, nurse, or teacher? If so, then you're a Ron Siegel VIP hero, and you may qualify for rewards up to $5,000 to $10,000 when you buy, sell, or refinance a home with a Ron Siegel Radio partner. As a valued VIP hero, you receive special savings, rebates, and valuable discounts. Learn more by calling me, Ron Siegel, at 1-800-306-1990 or visit VIPHeroProgram.com. It's just our way of saying thank you.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got all of them. Jumbo loans, no down payment loans, FHA loans, conventional loans, you name it, they've got it. Just give us a call. Hey, even if you're self-employed, bank statement loans are back. Let's look at the markets right now. Dow Jones now down 362 points. S&P 500 is down 37 points. NASDAQ down 103 points. What's all of that translating into in the mortgage world? That's where we're heading. Well, the 10-year Treasury down 7 basis points, gone down quite. That's a massive drop in the 10-year Treasury. The yield now 1.36. Not good for our seniors, but it's good if you're thinking about buying a house because it's translating into a 31 basis point increase of the price of the mortgage-backed security. That means interest rates on the mortgage-backed security are down. So if you've been sitting on the fence, if you haven't locked in, maybe now is a good time to figure out what you want to do, how you want to translate that for your family. But why is all of that happening? Well, it's very, very little. It's a light news week. We did get the PMI composite final for June, decreased to 63.7 from May's 68.7, lower than expectations. Services decreased 64.6, coming in under the 64.9 expectations. Does anybody care? The ISM non-manufacturing index measures the health of service industry in the U.S. came in at 60.1 for the month. That's below the expectations of 63.5. Those are all kind of, lightweight numbers. They're not numbers that are real meaningful. The big issue right now, even if we look back at the jobs report from last week, average hourly earnings up 0.3% in June. This is only factors in hourly earnings rather than total compensation. So that's a big issue right there. A lot of people with the challenges of getting employees, the weekly numbers are really what's more important. We like to look at the weekly numbers more than hourly numbers, because there's a lot of people getting overtime right now because employers just can't find easy for me to say, people to work. This is not Monday, is it? My tongue is tied. But the employers can't find people to work. Maybe until Labor Day we'll get people starting to head back to work. So we'll see what happens there. That is the Mortgage Minute, again, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. Hey, how about it? Go ahead and get their mobile app from Geneva Financial. RonIsMyLender.com. Get the mobile app, put it on your phone, take a screenshot, send it to RJ at RonSiegelRadio.com, RJ at RonSiegelRadio.com. We will put you into a drawing for 4 days, 3 nights in Las Vegas. We do not pay your taxes or your gambling debts. That's just a different situation there. But again, that's from our friends at Geneva Financial. Let's talk a little bit about protecting your assets. And I articulate that really well because otherwise we can get in trouble with the FTC. But Craig Redler is with us, Jeffrey Verdon Law Group. Good morning.
Good morning.
So protecting your assets, other than my wife's credit card bills, who do I have to protect my assets from?
Well, I'm going to assume that people listening to this show are people that are interested in finances and building wealth. Anything that you've worked hard to earn, anything that you've inherited, whatever, anything you don't want a creditor to come along and take away for whatever reason. We're sitting in California right now. The United States of America is the most litigious country on the entire planet. And California is the most litigious state in the United States of America. And whatever you own, if you make an unfortunate mistake, someone can come and take it.
I'm foreseeing, Craig, that there's going to be a lot of lawsuits coming up. And I have no knowledge of the law. I mean, I try to follow them, but other than that. But COVID-19, people going back to work, the companies have not, the Congress did not get any protections put in the CARES Act for business owners. Do you think that's going to be a big issue going forward?
100%. Employers in particular are always going to have a big target on their back. In my world, if you have 100 employees working for you, that's 100 potential plaintiffs. And California, again, in particular, is not an extraordinarily employer-friendly state. So I would agree with you 100%. A lot of the laws that are out there was a law passed last year, rose out of a Supreme Court case in California, Dynamex case, that came out of misclassifying employees. Under that law, the owners of businesses aren't personally protected. The company gets sued. If the company can't afford the judgment, they're coming after you as the business owner personally. So that's the sort of thing that planning with Jeffrey Verdon Law Group can protect you against.
So they're going to come after me as the owner of the business, even though I've got a corporation that's supposed to protect us.
Correct.
So does that mean I've got to have asset protection for both myself personally and the corporation?
Depending on your context, it is not a horrible idea. And when you come in and we do a deep dive into your balance sheet, we would be able to make a recommendation whether that would work for you.
And I should, being that I didn't do this before we got started talking, Craig, we are not, Craig, I can't, but Craig's not giving you legal, he could give you legal advice, but not here. We're giving you information only. If you want legal advice, you can get that. You have to call Craig's office, schedule an appointment. That's how he makes a living for himself and his family. So we just give you some education, some ideas, some things that maybe you didn't know about. Maybe they're out there. So I like to throw that out there.
Thanks for saying that. I'm a lawyer. No one who should have said that.
Exactly.
I appreciate that.
Right. I mean, because, well, so you're basically dealing with any companies over 100 employees is what you're saying.
No, it depends on the individual client and his or her risk tolerance and the business they're in. Look, there are some businesses that certainly are naturally going to be where the owners will be a suit target more than others. A lot of people ask me, is it, is your net worth, is that where you set the peg on whether you should do this kind of planning? My answer is, look, some people will spend $100,000 to protect $1 million, and some people won't spend $100 to protect $100 million. It just depends on the client and how well they want to sleep at night and what kind of suit target they are. Wow,
it's a pretty interesting concept. So, but the thing is, so what are you really doing? I mean, as far as not specifics, but is it trust that you have to set up? Is it again? It depends on the individual client. It depends on his or her balance sheet. Depending on what your assets look like and what kind of asset classes you're invested in or what you own, that will determine the course of your planning. We have a large number of tools in our toolbox. We didn't used to when this industry started back in the mid 80s. But right now, God, there are literally dozens of different things we can do. But some of the more common techniques are going to be trust centered. Sure. Okay. Sometimes we'll do a variety of trusts. Some of them are domestic, some of them are foreign. We'll go offshore if it's necessary or advisable for the client. Tell me a little bit about the demographics of the client that should be calling you. Again, if you're a business owner, back to what we mentioned earlier, and you don't do this, you probably should. If you are a manufacturer, if you take something and put it into the stream of commerce, you are insane not to do this kind of planning. If you are highly liquid, look, you go out and have a car accident, everything you worked for could be on the line. So, some businesses, like I said, lend themselves better manufacturing. Anybody with a lot of employees, we do athletes and entertainers. So those would probably generally, and I don't know this, but athletes and entertainers probably are not that group that I incorrectly assumed was going to be the 100 employees or more. Exactly. Just high income earners. They're high income earners with a target. Oh, okay. High with a target, high profile. Yes. Right. So anybody that thinks that, hey, something that the last Celebrity Idol or whatever, I don't even know. I don't watch that stuff, but they got to be a millionaire. They were on TV. So that would make you, I would think that would make you a target. People start salivating if you bump them at a red light at 5 miles an hour. You don't want to be that person. If you are, you should have a plan like this in place. So what is the time frame it takes to put something like this in place? I mean, obviously, after the event is too late. Now, how far in advance? I mean, if I'm foreseeing that I'm going to be doing something next month, next year, 10 years, how soon should I be talking to you? It is like insurance, certainly in the respect that you can't start planning after you're looking at a loss event. Having said that, look, if you walked in and said, I've got this guy chasing me now, I mentioned all the tools we have, it goes down to very few at that point. And while your financial seas are calm, obviously that's the time that it's best to do this. I like that idea. So when it's nice and pleasant and you're not under fire, and I guess as a business owner, you're almost always under fire, but when you've got the best opportunity is always sooner rather than later.
After the sheriff's deputy is pounding on your door with the summons, that's a bad time to call.
That might not be a good time to find out what's going on, right? We're going to talk about income tax savings. You've got some tools there that we can talk about? When we come back?
Yes.
All right. When we come back, we're going to talk about some income tax, maybe savings tools. Maybe it's called planning because we're not going to do anything illegal. We just want to plan. There's a lot of things in the tax code that most people have no clue about. But the geniuses, the experts, they do. And the guys writing the laws, they do. They just don't tell the average guys like you and me. So we're going to see if we can get into that a little bit. Maybe there's some items that we can chat about there. We're going to also talk a little bit about our featured home. MyFavoriteLender.net is going to bring that to us. And a look at home price appreciation through 2025. All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number. It's 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or RonSiegelRadio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
What's your plan to beat inflation and protect and build your future wealth? If you're not sure, and if you would like to learn the secret of building wealth by utilizing your current assets with little or no risk, Realty Pro 100 has your solution. Realty Pro 100 Wealth Builder Program may increase your net worth by $50,000 to $75,000 or more per year. Learn more about the Realty Pro 100 Wealth Builder Program by texting My Wealth Builder to 79564. Text My Wealth Builder to 79564. License DRE 02059058.
Are you a renter and tired of making monthly payments? Paying off someone else's mortgage? Hey, it's Ron Siegel here to help you stop renting and start owning your dream home with amazing low interest rates. And you could potentially qualify for a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket. So stop renting. Start owning with Ron Siegel. Learn more at RonSiegelRadio.com and start owning today. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Do you own a luxury home or planning to purchase one? If so, your home may be your largest asset, but your mortgage may also be your largest debt. The Siegel Lending Team is offering amazing financing opportunities right now. Jumbo loans up to $2 million, 30-year rates in the 3%, and 15-year rates in the 2s. Learn more at RonSiegelRadio.com or call me directly. My number is 800-306-1990. Licensed under NMLS 217037. Equal Housing Lender.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, the real-time real estate segment today. Being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text SLT Home Digest to 79564. Find your dream home. before someone else does. A look at home price appreciation through 2025. Home prices have increased significantly over the last year, which in turn has grown the net worth of homeowners. Appreciation, home equity are directly linked. As the value of a home increases, so does a homeowner's equity. And with these recent gains, homeowners are witnessing their financial stability and well-being grow to record levels. And more good news for homeowners, the most recent home price expectation survey of national panel of over 100 economists. I love the home price expectation survey because it's just not one individual. It's a whole group of people, economists, real estate experts, investment and market strategists. Forecast home prices will continue appreciating over the next 5 years, adding to the record amount of equity homeowners have already gained over the past year. And if you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our socials, or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490 video feed, you're seeing expected rate of appreciation through 2025, 8.66, 5.12, 3.7, 3.56, and 3.33 respectively. What does this mean for homeowners? Home prices climbing today, and the data in the survey indicates they'll continue to increase, but at rates that approach a more normal pace. Love that idea. Even still, the amount of household wealth a homeowner stands to earn going forward is substantial. This truly becomes clear when we consider a scenario using a median priced home. That's not California home prices. Purchased in January of 2021 and the projected rate of appreciation on that home over the next 5 years. Again, we've got another graph that we're putting up on the socials. And if you didn't see them, it's on all of our social channels. It shows the increase of the net worth by a significant amount, over $93,000 by 2026. Now think about that. $93,000 on the median priced home by 2026. And that's using a national average median price is about $334,000. Here in Orange County, California, I don't have all the counties that we're broadcasting in, but Orange County, median home price is about $834,000. That's, can we call that triple for round numbers? Maybe let's call it double so we don't exaggerate, right? That means $187,000 in net worth appreciation over the next 5 years. I'd say that's pretty significant numbers. If you want more information on this or anything that we talk about on Ron Siegel Radio, give me a call, 800-306-1990. Our team will be happy to put together the information for you. That is the Real-Time Real Estate segment. Again, brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text SLT Home Digest to 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. Continue our conversation this morning. Craig Redler, Jeffrey Verdon Law Group. Got to get that right.
Jeff would appreciate it.
Yeah, I don't think he'd be very happy if I you say his name wrong or the name of the company wrong. Which I'm just a radio guy out here. I don't want to get sued though because they know what they're doing and I don't. Right. So that's a
to the point you just made. Can I say the capital gains you're going to see on your house is exposed to creditors. Any equity you have in your house is exposed to creditors. If you have equity in your home and I sue you and you do not have the cash to satisfy my judgment, I can foreclose on your home. I can put a lien on your home. Also, any capital gains on your real estate is ultimately, potentially, depending on the state of the law and the day you die, taxable in your taxable estate. So you may end up paying estate tax at an oppressive rate on equity in your home.
Yeah, we all can't plan on dying like George Steinbrenner did.
Right, on the 1 year that it was exempt. Or
the 1 year that it was exempt. Now, I want to ask you this, Craig. And I know that you're not going to give me, specifics, but somebody like in the net worth level that was portrayed on TV of Steinbrenner, right? Because we don't really know what his net worth is. Do they have other types of loopholes and things like that where they're finding ways to minimize their estate taxes?
Yes.
Okay, so there's and that's a good reason that we need to call you.
Yes.
It's pretty simple stuff.
Right this second, the exemption for every person is $11.7 million. So if you're a married couple, what is that?
23.4.
23.4. You can give away collectively as a married couple right this minute. Under the current law, that is going to drop to inflation adjusted 5 and some change, and that's in 2026. So right now, if nobody touches the law, it's going down to 5 and some change in 2026. I suspect Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders, these gentlemen are talking about changing the law before 2026 and dropping the exemption below that 5 million. I've heard 3, I've heard as low as 1. Now, you just mentioned the median home price in Orange County, California. Like, if you own a home in Orange County, California, in a world where the exemption is $3 million, you're probably over it. Or $1 million, you're probably over it. If it's 5 million, you're probably pushing it, just if you're a homeowner in Orange County.
So the idea there is, as a homeowner, that's going to, and you have to think about your equity in your home that's going up tremendously right now in most parts of California. Then you think about your 401k, and you put just those two together. I think I heard recently the average 401k is like $226,000, something around that point.
It doesn't take much to get over it, especially in a state like California, for sure.
So in the state of California, just think about it. If you're a homeowner anywhere in the state, I know that there's San Diego and Orange County tend to be a little bit more conservative in their voting. But hey, if you're in Silicon Valley and you're just think about how you vote, right? It's your choice. California tends to go, and I don't want to get political. Well, I do get political, but right, the concept here is that just be aware that these are the side effects of anybody's voting choices is where the law is going. So I know that there's not a whole lot, Craig, that we can do with income tax. But are there a few things that if we call you that you can structure for us a little better?
There are a few things we do with some insurance planning. There's one technique we use that's just marvelous. It's premium financed life insurance. So we use that for a couple of different purposes. People that need life insurance, the death benefit, obviously it serves that purpose on a basic level, and there's some other things we do. And let me back up and explain what premium finance life insurance is. Most people understand the concept of life insurance. I buy a policy, and if I die during the coverage period, it's going to pay whatever the death benefit is. 2 types of life insurance. There's the whole life that builds up a cash value, and term, which basically you pay, and when if you stop paying, the policy ends. And
it's kind of like rent.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So you pay it, and you get the benefit of it while you're paying. You stop paying, no more benefit.
So what premium finance does, and this is very cool, and I don't know why it's not more popular. You basically are going to buy a life insurance policy, whole life, typically with a much larger than average death benefit. And rather than write a check to the insurance company to pay the premiums, you're going to borrow the money. You're going to finance it. And especially now in the environment where interest rates are as low as they are now, and you just touched on that earlier, it's a really good time to do this. So you're really leveraging your money. So you're going to buy a very big life insurance policy with a very big death benefit with an interest-only loan. So all you're taking out of pocket is interest payments. When you ultimately pass away, the bank loan is going to be paid down. So the bank knows for sure it's going to get paid, and there's always going to be money left over for the family. But to the income tax point, at a certain point, that policy becomes self-sustaining. It's got a cash value. You can borrow from it and basically give yourself what's the equivalent of a tax-free income in your retirement.
Now, I don't know if this is one that follows the same suit. We used to talk about this in the sense that you had to make sure you bought the policy properly. You buy the right kind of policies. You can't just go out on the internet and try and do this yourself. And you have to make sure that you fund it properly, because they used to have something called a modified endowment contract.
MAC. Yep.
And is that still part of the process you have to be careful of?
You need to make sure we avoid that.
Okay, and if you don't understand all that stuff, don't worry. Most people don't. That's why you need a professional to help you, right? So there are ways around this. Now, if I have a successful business, a small company, it's just my wife and myself, can the company buy this policy for us?
Yes.
Right. So, and it becomes a company expense.
It becomes a company expense.
So it diminishes our income tax on a company level.
Yes.
And is the growth of the policy, is that taxable, the growth, or is that tax deferred?
It's tax deferred.
Tax deferred growth. So we buy it as a tax write-off. It grows tax deferred. Under current law, if there's a death benefit, is that taxable or non-taxable?
It is estate tax taxable. It is not income tax taxable. So again, we would take steps. We would create an entity to own it, to keep it out of your estate. So again, if you don't do it properly, if it has a $20 million death benefit, well, that will add to your taxable estate if it's not done properly, and it gets taxed at a pretty high rate. So we want to make sure it doesn't fall, the death benefit doesn't fall back into your estate.
So if you're a high net worth individual, or hey, maybe you're not a high net worth individual, but Uncle John is, and you're thinking that Uncle John might leave you some money. Well, if you want more money, well, you got to call Craig, right? Because then he'll tell Craig, hey, Uncle John is here. And most lawyers, I don't know if it's still part of the laws, but Craig can't call Uncle John. Now you can have Uncle John call Craig. You can say, hey, Uncle John, did you know that this is going on and you can save a bunch of money? I know you're just a good nephew, right? And that's the way you do that, right, Craig?
That is, I would recommend that, sure.
Right, it's the way I go about it from the proper standpoint. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. How to make estate taxes voluntary. Wow, that's an interesting topic. And top 3 estate freezing strategies. We'll see if we can get into all this and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you. But the replay is available. Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel #1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
If you're listening to this program, building personal wealth is a topic you're familiar with, and you probably understand that making money is about creating a high income from a high-paying job or running a business, while building wealth, on the other hand, is about creating a stock of value that goes up over time. You've also probably noticed lately that prices for fuel, groceries, and raw materials are skyrocketing, while your monthly income remains flat. Welcome to Inflation 101. One of the fastest growing wealth building strategies is utilizing your current assets with little or no risk, like the equity in your home. Realty Pro 100 has been helping people like you increase their net worth by $50,000 to $75,000 per year. Now's the time to put your money to work for you and beat inflation. Learn more and start building your wealth by contacting Realty Pro 100. Text My Wealth Builder to 79564. Text My Wealth Builder to 79564. Receive free information on how the Realty Pro 100 Wealth Builder program works and if it's the right wealth building strategy for you. License DRE 02059058.
Hey friends, do you dream of mortgage-free home ownership? Are you aware that even if you own your home free and clear, it could still be costing you thousands per year? The Siegel Lending Team can help you generate tax-free income, accumulate family wealth, and maintain ownership of your home. By simply emailing your most recent mortgage statement, you'll receive a no-obligation real estate plan. Learn more by calling 1-800-306-1990 or email me your recent mortgage statement to PEAR@ronsiegelradio.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you tired of paying rent? Are you tired of paying someone else's mortgage? Do you know qualified folks can potentially purchase a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket? Ron Siegel can help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. If you're tired of paying someone else's mortgage, reach out to Ron today at ronismylender.com. That's ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you a renter and tired of making monthly payments, paying off someone else's mortgage? Hey, it's Ron Siegel here to help you stop renting and start owning your dream home with amazing low interest rates. And you could potentially qualify for a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket. So stop renting. Start owning with Ron Siegel. Learn more at ronsiegelradio.com and start owning today. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 306-1990. The featured home today brought to you by myfavoritelender.net. Myfavoritelender.net. 16128 Sierra Heights Drive, Riverside. 5 bedrooms, 4 full and a half a bathroom, luxurious, captivating, impeccable. Welcome to the exclusive community of Sierra Heights, where you'll find your ultimate dream home in this much sought-after neighborhood with its high-quality craftsmanship and thoughtfully designed floor plan. This exclusive standard Pacific home has it all. 5 bedrooms plus a retreat being used as an office, 4.5 bathrooms, along with a private mother-in-law suite located downstairs. Did I say Riverside for $1,175,000? You and I were talking about that earlier, Craig. Some little difference in pricing here. $1,175,000 for this property. Let's take a look at some financing. Oh, I should tell you, it's listed by Sandy Rodriguez over at Berkshire Hathaway. So if you want more information on this property or any property, Sandy Rodriguez is the one to chat with. 10% down, you're looking at $48.23 a month. 20% down, you're looking at $42.87 a month. And if you put 25% down, do it strategically. You got to get some information on this one. $35.98 per month. That's principal interest. That's principal and interest only. If there are any mortgage insurance, homeowners association fees, taxes, we always know there's taxes. Escrow, you got to add all of that stuff to it. And for those of you keeping score, and I know you compliance people are, that's a 3.845 APR, a 3.668 APR, and a 2.95 APR NMLS 217037. Again, if you want any more information on this property or any others, give me a call at 800-306-1990. Featured home today, 16128 Sierra Heights Drive in Riverside. Sandy Rodriguez is the listing agent on this one. $1,175,000 is the asking price. That's the featured home. Brought to you by myfavoritelender.net. Continuing our conversation this morning, Craig Redler is with us. Jeffrey Verdon Law Group is the name of the firm. How to make estate taxes voluntary. I didn't think you could make any taxes voluntary, but you can.
Yeah, the estate tax, typically, if you plan properly, you can generally, making little air quotes here, you can't say deal with them effectively.
And that's the idea, right? And it's a shame because you hear, I'll throw my 2 cents in here because I always do, right? So you hear all of the lawmakers saying, well, they don't pay their fair share. Well, why don't they pay their fair share? Because they have, number one, what's fair? None of them will ever tell you that. But the issue is they've got a lot of really smart people that they're paying that understand the law, right? So that's why you call Craig one of the smart people. He understands the law, and you just use the law to your benefit. Now, there's a lot of people out there that saying, I'd rather go and pay $2,000 for a trust and call it done. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're a high net worth individual, I'm going to suggest that's probably not the smartest method. And we've been talking to Craig about that idea. So there are tools out there. A trust, I think, is probably is that the most basic?
For basic estate planning, yeah, most estate plans are going to be trust centered.
And you and I were talking about during the break that the idea is home equity is not your friend when it comes to protecting your assets.
Home equity is vulnerable. So in my world, as counterintuitive as this sounds, debt can often be our friend. So we create friendly debt sometimes, and that's one of the techniques we use to protect assets.
I like that term, friendly debt. And that's kind of like there's friendly liabilities, right? Friendly debt. There's assets that are good. There's assets that are bad. Right? I mean, your home, you call it a good asset. Well, it's appreciating. That's good. But, something you don't get any return on that investment until you sell. Right? If you have investment properties, a mortgage on the investment property is going to be a different kind of debt. So that's going to be debt. So the more you have of that debt, or you were talking earlier, that insurance, that could be a good debt.
Absolutely. That's another of the many advantages of that technique is we can deploy the debt. You're borrowing to pay the insurance premium as opposed to taking out of pocket. again, at low interest rates. And of course, the lender is still going to want to secure his or her loan. And we can take a property that has a lot of equity in it, that is attractive to a creditor. You can use it to secure the loan on this life insurance that you know for sure is never going to be defaulted on, that the lender is pretty comfortable is never going to be defaulted on, but still pledge property that is attractive to a creditor as security on that loan, and now it no longer is going to be attractive to a creditor.
Now, let me ask you this, Craig, because one of the things that I would be worried about if I were a high net worth individual is, do I have to redo everything every 4 or 8 years when there's a new administration?
Sometimes,
Okay.
you know, it is worth talking to your estate planning and tax planning professionals, just probably more often than even when the administration changes. If there's a CPA that you work with, your financial advisor, your insurance professional, your lawyer, plan with somebody who you can trust to ask these questions, or someone that's just going to unilaterally keep you up to date. We have a mailing list that most of our clients opt into, and when something changes significantly changes in the tax law that we think our clients should know about, we blast email and let them know, hey, this is out there. This is something you need to be aware of.
So I've got a term that I'll let you repurpose or reuse, because you just identified it and you didn't use the right term. Household board of directors, right? So it's the attorney that you're talking about. It's the CPA that you just mentioned, your estate planning, your insurance agent, your CPA. All those people fall into the household board of directors, right? I mean, and you're suggesting the same thing I talk about here for the last 10 years. You need a household board of directors, especially a high net worth. You can't know it. I mean, I'm sure you've got a great newsletter, right? But there's still no way that you're going to put in that newsletter the specifics. It's going to be a great information for me to call and say, Craig, can you explain XYZ to me? And as a client of yours, I'm sure you're doing that.
Well, without it, look, do what you do, we tell our clients. Most of our clients have built considerable estates, and they're obviously very good at whatever it is they do. And stay in your lane. That's what you should do. Do what you know how to do. Don't try and be an expert on everything. The internet will tell you just enough to screw it up. Rely on your professionals. That's what they're there for.
Absolutely. So here's another question. I hear this all the time, and we hear it in the news. Okay, should I be putting my assets offshore, onshore? Is there a rule of thumb when I need to start looking at those options?
Depends on the assets is the short answer to that.
Can't put my house offshore.
You cannot unbolt your home and move it to Switzerland. You can, however, take your liquid assets and move them to Switzerland if it will benefit you. And again, looking at an individual's balance sheet, we can typically tell you whether that's going to help you or not. And a lot of times it does.
And I'm gonna give you some financial advice. I generally don't do that on Ron Siegel Radio. Don't put all your assets in Bitcoin. I just throw that out there. It might be the greatest investment in the world. It might not be. I would call that high risk.
I would say to the age-old concept, don't put all your eggs in one basket. I would
there
agree
you go.
with that. But Bitcoin is pretty volatile, and you need a strong constitution for that, I think.
Yeah, you need to get some a lot of Pepto-Bismol.
Yes,
that would be interesting. So tell us how do we reach you, Craig? What's the best way for us? And I'll have this information available. What's the best way to reach?
My phone number is 949-333-8149. My email address is craig@jmvlaw.com. We have offices in Newport Beach over by the airport, and we have an office up in Redwood City in Northern California. So we're easy to find.
So, and if you're a wannabe investigator like me, when Craig gave his email address, I just looked at it and said, okay, jmvlaw.com. You can cite their website there too.
jmvlaw.com would also be our website. Yes.
Yeah. So there's some great information right there on the website, so you can learn a little bit more. Again, I'm going to just share with you that we give you a little bit of information here at Ron Siegel Radio. We try to open your eyes that maybe there is a better way. Right? There is a way of protecting yourself. As Craig mentioned earlier, we're in a litigious society. We're in a litigious country. We're in a litigious state. And if you don't plan ahead of time, you could find yourself on the wrong end of these things. And I'm going to assume, Craig, that you're like most other attorneys in saying, it's always better to stay out of court.
Yes. In fact, I started my career as a litigator, and I spent the first 7 years of my career going where everyone else spends their life trying to avoid the courthouses. And it's unpleasant. It is probably the least happy place in the world, are courthouses.
So if you can give if you can protect your assets and make it unpleasant for somebody to try and attack you, or their attorney realizes, hey, you know something? I don't think that I'm going to get what it's worth. They're going to say, okay, they're not going to do it on a contingency anymore. And the litigant or the person, the plaintiff, is probably going to say, okay, well, I can't afford it. And you're going to be protected because you took a little bit of time early on. You don't know what tomorrow brings. So give a call over to Craig and talk to him. Again, Craig Redler, Jeffrey Verdon Law Group. And as always, I ask you, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean who are engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.